cool. We call it ghost pots. That's what we're doing.
Not to make fun of me all day.
Yeah, that's a bonus.
Today, I'm doing something a little bit different. I'm going ghost potting with CJ. This is something that I have done myself in the past on my own boat. I got an old video on that you guys could check out. But today, I'm going with him because I literally just forgot to sign up for the program. Basically, we're gonna drag hooks around the bottom of the Chesapeake Bay and see what we find. The idea is to pick up derelict fishing gear and rope and tires and all that kind of junk, but we find all kinds of wild stuff. So, curious to see what's down there. This is an area that I've never ghost potted before. CJ, are there footprints on your windshield?
Probably my kids.
All the usual suspects. Skeeter, T, and CJ. So CJ and T are kind of like from my place down in Pasadena. But we're a little south. We're in Shady Side right now. So basically, ghost potting is where the state pays watermen to go drag hooks around the bottom and pick up. The idea is derelict fishing gear, so crab pots where the floats have been hit by boats or have just been lost off the line. But we're picking up all kinds of stuff. Rope, tires, bottles, all kinds of miscellaneous trash, cable, wire, line, you name it, it's down there. They try to get crabbers from the area. They also get crabbers to fill the slots from pretty much wherever. And they got boats like CJ and T that are all the way up from Pasadena. They did email me about doing it, and I honestly just forgot to sign up. I've done this every year they've done it since I've been crabbing. I actually enjoy doing it. I really like it, and it's a good bit of extra money when we really need it in the spring getting ready for crabbing. DJ was kind enough to let me come do it for a day on his boat. Cool program, mildly interesting. It'll actually bore you to tears because all you do is basically drive in circles and pick up crap on the bottom all day. But it's a little change of pace, if nothing else. Well, check this joint out. CJ's got the freaking Taj Mahal in here, man. He's got his toolbox actually in better shape than mine. CJ's got guys that used to work on his boat for a long time. They get a bobblehead when they retire or get locked up or whatever it may be. These are actually the hooks I built last year to do it, or 2 years ago. I welded those up, so he's borrowing my hook set. These will get drug off the back. Bro, he's in crab pot room. Stop in and check in, get the record book every day, pick up whoever's gonna ride along. Oh, that's nice. At least CJ's got easy access to his bilge pump. You don't even have to take the hatch off to hit the switch. That's pretty convenient, I like that. Oops, I don't wanna break it. Sunrise. CJ hasn't been doing too well at this, admittedly, the last week. How many pots you caught all week?
I mean, a couple few.
He's caught five pots.
Less than a couple, more than a few.
That's not even, that's an average of like...
I'm trying.
Just over one a day, like 1 1/4 a day.
I'm trying, okay? Nobody ever told me how to do this, so, and I'm using his hook, so it's his fault.
Yeah, it is true.
We ready?
But that's bad.
Well, it's all fun and games when you go overboard. All right, so we're gonna try, I had a recommendation. I'm gonna cut these floats down so it's just a tiny bit. It's because I didn't have to hear him cry about me losing his hook. So I'm just gonna cut it, leave a little float on here because the thought is when that float's jerking and the pot gets hooked on it, this pulls the hook out. Who knows? I gotta find a knife. Look at that fleet. Look at them working.
Knife, everything on this boat's sharp. We fishing now, we're fishing.
Better blessed than good. That's good and sharp. Got these brand used pliers. I just twisted off. I feel like they should be sharper.
I've seen that boat before. 6C. I like it.
He runs out of Annapolis. All right, so we're gonna cut this. Let me tell you a little story. My original brander from 20 years ago was these little tiny numbers. You know how cheap I am.
Yeah.
I ain't buying the big numbers.
I know how cheap you are. You're using my hooks.
41661 used to be my old number. And then I went to the big brander, 41661. This float right here is probably at least 20 years old.
Huh.
And I'm getting ready to cut it up.
Son of a gun. That's an antique.
Antique, yeah. Anyway, a little
Just
history.
like you.
A little history for you. Oh, yeah, true, actually.
repair antiques. Put your back into it. Actually, don't put your back into
No,
it. You're hurting yourself.
No backs. So we're gonna try this little tiny piece and see if that don't make a difference.
LT Craft over there?
Yeah, I ain't seen them
Some
guys
of that
out
sort.
here. That's another one of them guys from Annapolis. I work around them in the summertime.
Networking event here.
Yeah.
Crabber Christmas party.
Got the little buoy on there. We're gonna try this one now. Look at this special fabrication that I made.
That's actually good. Some guys have one of these with 3 loops because when you hook the pot, it doesn't just rip through the pot. It has some spring to it.
Yeah.
And the other one's dragging will like help pull it out. Look at that. Your genius didn't even know it. Typical.
Just gotta tickle them.
Yeah. You're going a little fast too, ain't you?
That's all we got. I don't have no
Bump it in and out of gear.
my trolling valve's locked up, so
That might be part of your thing. You might want to bump her in and out of gear a little bit, but I do appreciate the fact that CJ is using a cork on the end so he doesn't lose my nice hooks that I made up. That don't work, apparently. Maybe operator error, I don't know, it's to be determined.
Let's show everybody how to tie a bowline. Not only is this a boring video, it's a how-to video.
All right, a boring how-to video. Those are your favorite.
Run that line through there, make your loop, put it in there, come back around.
Look at that.
Now that's your bowline, and it's actually a hitch, it's not a knot. A knot, you need a hatchet to open it up, take it off. A hitch you can undo.
Yeah, bowline.
You're welcome.
Tight as you pull that, you can always break it by folding that over. That's a pretty bowline, I like that. It's a little different than mine, but I like it.
You probably tie it the right way. I learned how to do it off old crab pot I found and washed up in my house. I didn't have anybody teach me everything like you. You had somebody teach you everything.
Was that before or after you walked uphill both ways to school?
In the snow.
In the snow.
All right, going over.
All right, now we fishing.
All right, we're gonna test. We got two little buoys versus the big buoy. I still don't think we're gonna catch anything.
Well, that's because you're trolling it. You're doing freaking 6.5 knots, bro. You gotta do like half of that.
How deep are we?
You see a wake behind any of these other boats? You're telling me you don't know what's going on?
I guess we should slow down. I don't know. I gotta get a 55-gallon drum to drag.
Your boat, your program. You just be glad it ain't piecework.
How deep
Your typical
are we?
hourly worker right here.
How?
Not my job.
18. Yeah, you're too deep. We gotta get inside there. Run inside that bubba. We gotta stay shallow.
He don't even drive his own boat anymore. He's got a guy for that.
We're trying to pass to the next generation.
Yep.
You're welcome. Yeah, we get inside here, them hooks get in, it'll slow us down to like 1.5 miles, 2 miles an hour.
For the video's sake, I hope this doesn't go as CJ plans. I hope we actually catch something.
There we go.
Ooh, we got a bite.
I think we got something.
You don't keep
That
it in
heater's
gear?
still on in there, you can get warmed up. I'll leave it on for you.
I mean, do whatever you want. Do that. Ooh.
All right, we gotta see which one it is, a little cork or big cork. Little cork or big cork? Corky.
Put it in reverse, you're gonna suck this freaking thing up in the wheel.
Did I suck it up?
Oh, he's using the winder.
Are you in reverse? What are we doing here?
Boys are a monkey screwing a football. Da-da-da.
He's pulling it in, that's what's doing it.
You got nothing. Oh my gosh, you boys fell apart.
What happened? See, that's what I think, we're losing them. We're hooking them and losing them.
When you get one, you gotta keep it in gear and drag it a little while, get the mud out of it, and then come pull it in by hand without pulling it out of gear. When you pull it out of gear, it comes off the hook.
All right, gosh, I'm glad you're here to teach me.
I'm just saying. I did it the last couple years. I did the same thing. I'd pull it out of gear, go back there, and as soon as you get slack in it, you lose it.
Yeah.
And don't pull it in with a winder, just drag it around until it drags the mud out. It'll be light and pull it in by hands, no thing. In my professional opinion.
We're gonna try that.
Clearly coming from the guy that ain't even doing it on his own boat out here. That's just because I'm an idiot. I forgot to sign up. Look at this. This is how you know there ain't much around.
We can't all be
last time you seen a
astronauts.
crabber cleaning his boat? Not often. They're getting bored out here.
It's a lonely life.
Yeah.
Dragging of the pots. Oh crap! Oh, back up! Almost ripped my rub rail off.
You're tight on here, I think. Joker's freaking piano string tight. Unless it's that bottom. Is it that bottom that just makes the hooks tight?
We're on hard bottom now.
Yeah.
I think it's mostly sand here. That's why I say we get on inside like 8 foot, it'll slow us down to like 1 mile an hour, 2 miles an hour, and you can drag along slowly. But I guess, like you say, when we're in the process of trying to get back to the hooks, because they're not deep, they're out more.
Yeah, you gotta keep tension on them.
Okay.
When I was up the bay doing it, there was like these big like clay patches, and I kept thinking I had something on there, but just clay. Like the hooks would come up covered in.
Yeah,
but it would damn near stop the boat.
I ain't seen any clay at all. I don't know.
Well, let's see what they got. Nothing.
I think longer, more rounded hooks.
Yeah.
Where it can get into the wire and then it ain't coming out.
Yeah, no, they definitely work better.
Next time.
These hooks are for the dredge, you know, they work good on the dredge when you got the 3 dragging on the pipe. Problem is with the curl hooks, a lot of times they'll bend the thing straight, you know. Look at that, he's got a dinghy. Oh, he's set up for gill netting.
Yeah, he's got a roller on there.
Pretty view. So CJ's the guy that I worked for crabbing. Little unpaid plug there. This is the boat that I grew up crabbing on. Arguably learned all the things I should or shouldn't do, you know, crabbing.
Taught you a lot of things you shouldn't do. That's my plan.
I'll give you guys a little bit of a boat tour in a few minutes, because I'll tell you what, it ain't changed much, for better or for worse, around here.
Changes the devil of all things.
Yep. Clearly. Listen to this guy. One of my favorite features
I just made that up.
CJ's live well down here. Funny story with this hatch. When I was probably like 13, I was stacking pots and I stepped on this hatch and cracked it. And I thought, oh man. And you know what? It's been about 10 years and he still hasn't changed it. Actually, it's been like 15 years. He still hasn't changed it.
Why?
Same hatch, same crack.
Oh, there we go. We got something.
Same guy.
Or did we hit the bar? Okay. Felt good. It felt good. Is this a video about finding ghost spots, or is this a video about a boat tour?
No, this is just ragging on you. This is just a good excuse to come rag on you for the day.
I appreciate it.
Hey, not all the hatches are galvanized. Check this one out.
We should.
Little repair.
That's nice. Now, you could fix all this stuff with a drill and some zip ties. Do the old zip and stitch.
See the rope pull?
Oh yeah? No, that's
came up with that myself.
I actually like that better than these, because clearly these don't work.
No, of course not.
Break 'em
Why
right
would
off.
they?
Yeah, I forgot. We're doing ghost pots. We're picking up crab pots, derelict fishing gear up off the bottom, yada yada. State pays us, you know.
Giving me a hard time is just secondary.
Low hanging fruit. It's becoming the primary objective of this video. With as many pots as you've caught, it's turning into a rag on CJ
We'll let you get
video.
on T's boat so you can actually go catch some. Get on T's and let him show you how it works.
That old boat, old round stern.
Northwest.
CJ's telling the nice lady from ORP about all the ducks.
I like birds.
Turning into a duck tour, turning into a bird watching tour here, because we ain't caught any crab pots yet. Moving gear.
It pulled it through.
Oh man!
We caught something!
CJ caught a crab pot. Well, old Cap CJ finally brought one in the boat. Not too bad. The problem is, these pots are so rotten, falling apart already. When you hit them with the hook, a lot of times the hook just tears right through them. Those guys got one. That's the idea. Look at that, they got an oyster dredge with hooks on it. That's a good idea. That rig on there is for pulling a dredge just like that to catch oysters. So once they get the crab pot in the boat, they'll dump out whatever things are in it, whether there's any animals or anything, and then they record every little thing. So say there's 2 crabs and a sunfish in there, they'll write that down, wad the pot up, throw it in the boat, keep on going. I actually found when I did it, there was shockingly very few animals in the pots. We would catch them with catfish in them or something, but most of the time the crab pots have sunk deep enough into the sediment, there's enough runoff that the funnels that allow things to get into the pot were under the mud, so nothing could really get in. We would catch them with crabs occasionally, but it wasn't like I was thinking. You know, I thought that you'd catch them and they'd be dozens of crabs in them, but in reality, there's really not much. It almost seemed like it was like good habitat, like fish habitat almost.
Got something?
I don't think so.
That line right there I watched is real super tight.
You're good, Chris. I think this one might be caught on another hook.
But usually if one of the hooks is loose, it means we got something. It's dragging.
This is why I'm in crab college right now, and I'm learning from the best. All right, that's all I can say.
Done that a time or two. I've hit about everything with the lottery, so I've done that number quite a few times myself. Crisis averted. That came up. That's the bracing wire that goes around the top of a crab pot. The problem is a lot of these pots are so set in the muck that when you hit them, it just tears them apart. So there's a piece of a mangled pot down there now. Just got to catch the rest.
Left hook.
Jeez, that one hit hard. You want to pull those other two in?
All right, stay out of gear. Stay out of gear.
Oh, looks like we finally got one on.
We got a crab pot here dragging. We're pulling all the mud out of it. I'll show you here when it gets in. All right, stay out of gear.
Woo, baby. That one even want to hit on.
Just keep going, because if it's a pot, it's full of mud and all. Just stay in a straight line. It's starting to get lighter. See it? Yep.
Actually, we got two. We're overachieving right now. But
That was a double-decker.
that's right.
Get to work. I love it. We got a big one. We're gonna need a bigger boat. Look at that thing. Woo. She was buried.
Oh my gosh, dude, look at all those. Oh my god.
Hey, there we go, an old clam. Now
Dude,
look at that. That's an old clam.
Look at all those white clams. Holy crap.
What a cool deal. Protecting all the clams for all the cow nose rays. We can have a clam boil later.
Boy, look at that.
You can see how many clams we'd have if it wasn't for them cow nose rays eating it. The clams, they're protected by the crab pots.
Bloodworm.
Oh yeah, nice.
Pretty cool.
Nice. Put them in that orange basket.
For research reasons. Look at that.
That's
it's a
cool.
white clam, soft shell clam. That's a huge one. I've never seen them that big, honestly.
That's a pisser. Yeah, because they all get eaten. You're dumping them all over the floor.
I'm trying to get out of the pie.
Delicate, very delicate.
Cool deal.
Look at that.
Yeah, that's neat. You can see how deep they can bury. Where's old Wayne at? Wayne would have a field day with them, wouldn't he?
Clams
Up
and
Maine, he's old
bloodworms.
clam digger. You got one more in there, one more little one. That tells you the fishery we would have if it wasn't for cow nose rays. Right there, they
Man,
eat
look
them
at
all
that.
up, destroy them. That's illegal reproducing clam right there.
So they used to catch a lot of these in the upper bay and all over, but now where do they catch most of these? Shore, lower shore now?
And on around here, but to the eastern side.
Yeah, pretty cool. I've actually never seen them this big. Oh, I see them like size of your thumb. Oh, baby one. See this old crab pot. See how there's growth from here up? That's because from here down, the funnels and everything that would trap the crabs and the fish is all under the mud. That's why we hit so hard and we had to drag this pot around to get it to come to the surface. We were dragging all the mud out of it. When these pots sink down, they actually kind of make for good habitat. Like all those clams can live inside this pot and grow that big without getting eaten by a ray or a crab or anything like that. Kind of make decent habitat, and I mean, there's no crabs, they're not really killing crabs, really no bycatch. And look at that, we got a nice vinyl door. That'll live on in CJ's rig, I'm sure. And an iron.
Brand used.
That's right, brand used.
Another pot we pulled up
Twofer.
at the same time. We got both of them there. We got
Look at
fill
that.
out these. Look at that pile of clams. That's $50 worth of clams right there.
Probably more white clams than I ever catch in my life. Can't beat that.
We'll eat them. I mean, we're gonna take them over to the barn, get rid of them, dump them out, let them go back to the
This is about turning into a
civilization.
catch, clean, cook video.
Catch, clean, cook. Derelict pot fishing, clean cook.
She's up there from ORP just shaking her head.
She didn't see nothing.
All right, let's get him back. Catch another one.
So Chris is documenting. We got to take pictures of it. We got to fill out these sheets.
Chris said snap eats first.
This is what tells us where we should be working. You can see different piles. We're right about here, somewhere in here. So he's going to fill out the data sheet with all the information from today.
Hold on.
Hold on.
Good, Chris. It's right here. I'm gonna have to drag it like the other one. So what happened there was basically we had something on, and then I pulled up the back buoy, cleated it here, so we didn't get it in the wheel or anything, but I pulled it too tight, and it pulled the back of the hook out, which is what it's supposed to do. The back buoy's on the back of the hook, so that if it gets hung on something you can't pull through, you can pull the hook off the back without having it snag. Pulled it out of the pot, but we got literally all day, so we'll be all right.
You got time, what kind of, whether it's a crab pot, if there's
Got a
any
piece of
bycatch, straps. Some of them have hooks on the doors we can reuse, the plastic hooks. Chris is writing all the information down, what we found, what we saw, where we caught it, whether it had any crabs in it, if it had buoy or not, call rings, documenting everything.
Call rings.
Yeah, nobody wants to keep little crabs. We put call rings in a pot to get them out of there. We
Got
don't
a
want
bait
them.
door.
That's a $1 bill right there.
$1.25.
Oh, they already that much now. I remember paying 30 cents for them.
If you want them pre-cut.
Pre-cut used to be 30 cents. Now they're $1.25. That's inflation, folks. Clams. Yeah, hunter clams. Yep. Manos or white clams. Yep. Soft clams. Pisser clams. What a beautiful day. Nice and calm out here. Love it. Getting the ropes cleaned back up, getting everything out of the way so we don't suck anything up, and you can listen to that old Cummins purr, baby. 6 BTA. Mine's a 315. She's neck down a little bit. I'm happy with the old girl. She's good to me. Got about 4,000 hours on her since she's been mine, and a good motor. Don't burn a drop of oil. He's a good little worker. I'm just curious how bad.
Yeah, there's another $2 right there.
Yeah, there you are, old bloodworm.
Bloodworm.
Wayne would like that one too.
That's a pretty big one for
yeah, for the bay, yeah.
I'm harvesting bloodworms here in the great state of Maryland. They have 4 fangs and they do bite. Please be very careful if you handle the bloodworm.
That's good. We love you, Wayne. We love you. We appreciate you. Digging worms in the winter of Maine.
Shout out Wayne Bishko, man. Check him out.
Yeah, Wayne Bishko.
All the worm content you want.
Yep. Beautiful stuff. Appreciate you. The best fish bait on earth. We got the best crabs. He's got the best fish bait. Dragging 3 hooks here, and we tried that different float, see if that changed anything. The hook that had the pot to it was the one that had the big float on it. So I don't know. You let us know what we're doing wrong.
Drop a comment.
Drop a comment. Let us know.
We want to hear all the people that have never been on a boat tell us what we're doing wrong.
We definitely need a sharper knife, and our hooks need to be different. And
we need bigger bloodworms.
Need bigger bloodworms. Those bloodworms aren't big enough. They're not even real.
Hey, look at that.
Is that a snout?
The old snoot.
Snout or snout?
Get it or come off?
Yeah, that's good.
Come off.
Snapped right at the knot.
Dang. It's amazing. Somehow we didn't lose the hook.
Better blessed than good.
I'd rather be lucky than good. What you eating there, little guy? What is that?
Ham.
I seen this guy one time microwave an entire block of Spam on a paper towel in his own house and eat it. That's gross. That's a struggle meal there, buddy. Luckily now he's living a highfalutin life.
High protein.
The old plywood palace. Well, we've been out here quite a while. We haven't had much. There's also not a ton of pots on the bottom. So they bottom survey all out here with, I guess, some kind of 3D bottom scanning, and then they put marks on a chart. You know, they're not getting them all, but it does not seem to be super target-rich environment out here. When we did it up the bay in different areas where there's a lot of boat traffic, seem to have a few more. There's also a little different bottom. We're on a lot of harder bottom right now, and a lot of times pots tend to roll off a harder bottom and then get stuck on the mud on the outside edges of these shell bars and sandbars. We've still found a few. We've done our part so far, and nice to be out. Weather's nice, which is a big bonus because this sucks a lot more when it's blowing and raining and cold. They do not do this program every year necessarily. It's kind of county-based, so it's like some years Baltimore County will do it, other years, like right now, Anne Arundel County's doing it. They're at least keeping a few watermen busy. And this is easier money than going and beating yourself up catching oysters. So this is the chart. This is where we are. Right over there is the city of Annapolis. There's the Naval Academy. There is the Chesapeake Bay Bridge. So this is sort of home turf. As you can see, all the little green marks are crab pots that they marked their bottom scanning. And then they pick different zones to work every day. And you go around, try to pick them all up. It's kind of like a game, I guess. If they were paying by the pot, they'd have people really figuring out how to get them up off the bottom. But for now, just dragging hooks. We caught that one that was full of white clams, which was pretty cool. I've actually never seen white clams like that big before, and certainly not that many. Up where I'm at, crab further up the bay, not near as many white clams, and when we do see them, they're usually about the size of your thumb here. The rays are really hard on them. The stingrays that come through, they wreck them. That's why they live in these crab pots, kind of their only safe spot. crabs like to eat them too. I think like they say like naturally 80% of a crab's diet is mollusks and things like that. Things like mussels, clams, razor clams, white clams. It's interesting. It's a little different. Kind of a behind the scenes side of the commercial fishing, commercial crabbing industry here in Maryland. All these are the ships that are anchored up, waiting to go up into the port of Baltimore and get unloaded. That one's got cars in it. That's a car carrier. And obviously that one's a container ship. And I think that's probably a fuel ship, but it looks empty. You see that? The lighter red on the bottom is bottom paint. So when that ship is loaded down, all that's underwater. So that's how big those ships are when you see them. Sometimes you only see half the ship because half the ship's underwater. Really, it's probably like 3/4 of the ship is actually underwater. I guess I'll give you guys a little bit of a boat tour on CJ's boat. So this is the boat that I grew up crabbing on, that I worked on before I went and did my own thing. It's got a different engine now than it did before, and it's got an aluminum roof instead of a plywood one. Other than that, he ain't done much. So my boat, the Southern Girl, and the new boat, the Desperado, are both fiberglass hulls. This hull is actually made out of wood. It's made out of plywood with fiberglass over top, which is a pretty typical construction of a crab boat down here in the Maryland. They're cheap to build, they're pretty cheap to maintain, but they do have a service life. So it's got hydraulic lines, things like that. Some really nice plumbing, some pretty good electrical work. Oh, what's that, a breaker? I guarantee that breaker's a switch too. Yep, you can see this boat's made out of 2x4s. Got heat wrap on the exhaust. Something you really won't find is a deck brush on this boat, or any soap, that's for sure. Actually, it does have one, but it's definitely never been used. Coal box is what the crabs go in. Rail, winder, substitute co-captain. Look at that, the little fella's taking a nap. Taking lots of naps there myself. This boat's got a Cummins in it, kind of like the Desperado. It's a slightly smaller version of the Cummins. It also has a self-lubricating rudder nut. That's just to let you know that water is indeed flowing. Think of it like an indicator, you know? Shockingly, I don't think I've seen or heard the bilge pump kick on either, but not my circus, not my monkeys, you know what I mean? I'm just here for the show. They've got a couple on their boat. So this is a white clam, a soft shell clam, pisser clam or Mano clam. These are the ones that bring the most money. They do still dig some around here, mostly around like Kent Island and areas like that, which is over there. But most of them, to my knowledge, get shipped up to New York and whatever else. That's where the market's the best. This is a razor clam shell. We don't have a full one, but this is the most common crab bait in terms of like live bait, clams and stuff like that. This is probably a shell from somebody's crab pot, you know, when they emptied it. But they do dig a lot of these here in the area and use them as crab bait. Well, we got one. Well, we got most of one. We got an iron. Thing is, with most of these pots, if they're not vinyl coated wire, they just disintegrate. The steel just burns up like this and there's really nothing left of them. The iron sticks around, that's rebar. That's the frame that keeps the pot going down straight that's on the bottom of every crab pot. Down here, there seems to not be a lot of vinyl coated pots. Most of the pots are old chicken wires and stuff, and they're pretty much just frames. So when you catch one, we'll put it in. It's 311, I believe. Time 1:30, about-ish. Frame only. Yeah, I guess that's it. It was just a frame. They give you a little camera, so you take a picture of whatever you caught. Just get this picture with it, record it, which is new this year. Got that one too. Old cat put us on the meat. We're gonna fill the boat now. This one actually has one dead crab in it, in a beer can. That's a nasty one. He's a sinker.
No, he's right.
Well, we got a nice 1/2-inch iron off it. Little piece of scrap, you know what I mean? Good stuff. We just doubled our day's catch right there.
Look at this big one.
Oh yeah, that's like the Ace Hardware wire. The pot doesn't look terribly old.
Yeah, it's not life.
It's a steel cage and it's still around, so it can't be that old. Steel cages do not last real long. This one's got 2 coil rings in it. So coil rings are these right here. We have to have these in there by law and these let undersized crabs and fish out of the pots, and they work. So back in the day, pretty much everybody fished with what we called single corks, which means each crab pot had an individual line and float. Now, a lot of times what we do is fish underwater lines where we have 20 or 25 pots connected. That's what I do and CJ does. Part of the reason is because we lose a lot less gear. With all the boat traffic we have, pots get run over a lot, or they get lost in storms or things like that. And when they're single pots, cork goes missing or gets hit, the pot's gone. So it cuts down on a lot of the lost crab pots. We got 2 pots. Just pulled them in. That's the most intact pot that we've had. It's got 1 dead crab in it, a couple beer cans, another one off the bottom. These ones, can't speak for that one. This one definitely was a single pot. It's got a piece of line with this little stinger float on it, and that so keeps the line from rubbing up against, you know, the corner of the pot and parting your line. But who knows, it could have got hit by a boat, or his cat woke up and expect his prize.
When I missed, I was sleeping.
We went to bed and we put some meat on the table, buddy.
Some meat on it. I'm proud of you boys.
Thank you.
I just want to say I taught you everything you know.
Yep.
Not everything I know, but everything you know. Good work. All right, get back to work.
Pretty work, pretty work.
Maybe I'll go back to bed. Maybe I'm the bad omen.
Yeah. Hey, you go lay down. You go rest your head. All right. We'll get back. We'll get back on them. Well, right at the end of the day, ended up getting 2 more. This one's actually got a couple crabs in it. Nice chicken wires. Good irons. Good looking pots. Probably, honestly, maybe use these. They're a little beat up, but. Well, it's been a good day doing this. CJ and I are gonna hop on the boat with Ryan here. He's gonna run us in, and Chris is gonna run CJ's boat back home. It just saves Chris 2 trips. Pretty cool. Actually did pretty well, I'm not gonna lie. We got a few there right at the end, so got to see some cool stuff, cool, decent program, something you don't see every day.
Little video of the old girl leaving her.
Weird feeling, isn't it?
First time in 16,000 hours I ain't been on it.
That's how you know it's CJ's truck.
Man, that thing's nice.
If you guys have made it to this point in the video, I need your guys' help. I know that 80% of you that watch don't actually subscribe, and I have a new goal this year, all right? By the end of crabbing season, so like the beginning of November, I want to hit 1 million subscribers on my YouTube channel. We got a couple incentives to do that, all right? First one is every month from here on out, we're gonna choose 1 random subscriber, and we're gonna send them a box of Jimmy stuff, right? We have both the kinds of seasoning. We have 6 bags of the potato chips, all right? Some of the brand new Luke's crab chowder, and 4 crab cakes. These are my mom's recipe, all right? They're like gluten-free and all that kind of jazz. They're delicious. They're the same ones my mom made when I was growing up. Hit the subscribe button, turn your notifications on, so when we put out a new video every Friday at 8 a.m., you guys get a notification, and then you guys can just go watch it. And like, share it with your friends. Tell your friends to subscribe. Here's the big announcement. When I hit 1 million subscribers, with your guys' help, I'm actually gonna give away a brand new boat. So this is like super weird for me. I have never bought anything new in my life, but I'm buying a brand new boat that I will show you guys in a couple months when it arrives, and I'm gonna give it away to a subscriber when we hit 1 million. If you guys want a chance to win a boat or win some awesome food from Jimmy's that we're always talking about, hit the subscribe button, turn on notifications, share it with a friend. I would really appreciate it. It doesn't cost you anything, and you have a chance to win not only awesome food, but a brand new boat. I appreciate it, guys. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you next Friday at 8 a.m.